Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. But before we jump on in, I just want to issue a real quick warning to anybody out there. Listen, I understand how enticing these exchanges are to hold your crypto on. I know how easy it is. I know how, it could come off as it being safe, especially these larger exchanges like, Binance or Coinbase or even FTX. I understand exactly where a lot of individuals come from with their, mentality on like, well, why would I even store crypto on a ledger or, cold storage? It could still get hacked. It still has its vulnerabilities. Yeah, sure, it does, but storing your crypto offline while having the full control over it gives you a lot more security than, holding it on a centralized exchange that is online. They're not even your keys. There's major, systemic risk to it. But also, anybody out there that is being enticed by APY percentage staking, I don't care if it's 5%, 10%, 50%, 100%, whatever percentage they're giving you, it is not worth locking your keys up on these centralized exchanges. I do not trust any of them. I buy, I swap. That's it. I get my crypto, I swap it right over to the ledger or any sort of cold storage. You guys don't need to utilize a ledger, but I always store my crypto offline because of the FUD that we're seeing right now on Twitter is getting pretty, substantial. So, first off, do I believe the whole, sort of, insider thing about like Qcoin being insolvent? No, I do not. In fact, I think that a lot of like the things that are being made up around this space is just to kind of create mass panic. Like for an example, like we're seeing here, Qcoin insider confirms Qcoin is insolvent. Ex-employee whistleblows that estimate a hole up to $500 million. Qcoin may not have the coins to meet depositors' redemptions. 92% certain, and 92 like. Once I see 92%, and I was like, all right, yeah, this is just idiotic. Because, I mean, think about it. If I was going to say something or if I was going to talk about something and it was 92% certain, like, where do you even come up with that percentage, to be completely honest with you guys? But nonetheless, we do see like some headwind to, keep in mind. Not confirmed at this point, but very concerning if true. Qcoin is a big exchange. And a lot of people are saying like, they did respond to it, and but this account has said this stuff about Qcoin in the past, I guess, and it hasn't been true. And yeah, we do see here, like, here's a full thread. He explains his reasons in it. Like, there's a full-on thread from this. You guys can go check it out on Twitter if you guys want. The @ name is Otter and then like 4 O's. But yeah, it's the same with like the Coinbase like debacle, right? Like we were talking about Coinbase, we were talking about the possibilities of like Coinbase going bankrupt. Do I believe that that is the case? No, I do not. But, again, I'm not going to store my crypto on there. I know that Coinbase is and has always been one of the largest exchanges in crypto, and I'm sure that they have a ton of backing behind them, like over $6 billion in reserves. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to, keep my money on these exchanges. Like, these exchanges are centralized entities. We got into crypto to get away from centralized entities. It's almost like holding your money on a bank, except now it is a digital exchange. It doesn't make any sense at all to hold your crypto on these exchanges. And of course, yes, the CEO at Qcoin did respond to this FUD. He mentions like the entire article here if you guys do want to read it. But we even see over here, like, I'd be willing to give you the benefit of doubt, but time has shown time and time again, especially in the past few months, that any time a CEO has gone publicly to deflect FUD, it did not end well for them and their company. And yeah, this is the truth. Like, again, like, I don't really care about what these CEOs say. I don't care what the company says. I'm still not going to hold my crypto on these exchanges long term. I'm just not going to. And a lot of people have asked me, like, how do you sell your crypto then? It's pretty simple. You just send it back over to the exchange wallet, you sell, that's it, done. I know that a lot of people kind of get a little bit confused around this, but this is like the safest way that I have utilized crypto in the past and even currently. And yes, you could send crypto easily from a ledger to any other wallet. Very simple. And yes, do these offline storage mechanisms have their vulnerabilities too? Yeah, 100%. You could easily have your ledger hacked if you are giving away your passphrase and things like that. Also, I've always said, make sure that you are buying a ledger from Ledger's website. And if you guys do want to utilize my affiliate link, you guys are more than welcome to. Or if you want to go get a decent wallet any sort of cold storage, wallet, you guys are more than welcome to. You guys don't need to utilize my Ledger link. You don't even need to use Ledger. I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, do not trust these exchanges. Also, we do see over here some Ripple stuff. This is from Anders. Now, this is getting more so in the depth of like where Ripple is actually fully positioned and these individuals that are positioned within it. We do see, over here, like United States Federal Reserve System, direct connections to multiple individuals. And here's like the former Ripple advisor who was a special advisor to Bill Clinton. We also do see like the Department of the Treasury, 43rd, Treasurer of the United States. Clinton and Obama, administration as well. Now, I know that a lot of you probably all know these four individuals up here, but, you might not know this guy down here. And you guys know who this is? Well, this is Craig Phillips. Now, this guy is actually pretty substantial in terms of his resume. So we do see here, Craig brings more than 35 years of industry expertise to Ripple, having, held leadership roles at Morgan Stanley and BlackRock, which BlackRock is a 10 trillion asset under management company. Most recently, Craig served as counselor of Secretary of the Treasury Stephen Mnuchin. I don't know. I'm really bad with names. I butcher these names all the time, so I do apologize. But we do see where he oversaw regulatory framework development for the financial system under Executive Order 13772, as well as efforts to enhance the financial sector cybersecurity through the Office of Critical Infrastructure Protection and Compliance Policy. He also supported the development of policy for housing finance reform. And do you guys see, what's happening here? Do you see the substantial, moves being made behind the scenes? Like, these are direct connections to individuals that not only had, major roles within the financial system itself, but also played pivotal roles within, cybersecurity around it, reshaping the entire financial system, redesigning it, creating new opportunities within it. And now most of them, I should say, are sitting as a board of director at Ripple. It's crazy to me. And of course, you guys could, view the entire chart over here. Like, here's all of the other ones. Like, for an example, like Sadie O'Connor, she actually was talking about how XRP could possibly get to, like, some substantial price targets. But she also realizes, like, the viewpoints on where XRP actually is positioned as a, direct bridge currency and what Ripple is really kind of focused on. But these are just a few of the names. Like, you guys could go check out all of the other names. Like, for an example, Michael Warren, for an example. These are some substantial names within the financial sector and system. Now, you might be wondering, why am I even talking about this? Why am I even bringing up these names? It's directly tied to what we're seeing happening right now around the world. So we actually do see over here from Gold Telegraph, the United States Office of Financial Research says central bank digital currencies could limit bank runs. In early June, a Brazilian central banker also said a central bank's digital currency could limit bank runs. Nothing to see here. The funny thing is, right, is that going back 3 years ago, we also did see an IBM executive. CBDCs can alleviate risk that contributed to the 2008 financial crash. The funny thing about IBM is that they're actually directly tied to ISO 222, and they actually are playing a pivotal role within the financial system going forward. But we also do see down here, like, there's a few quotes, like, combining what central banks have in terms of digital systems for money transfer with the delivery mechanisms of all sorts of commodities, derivatives, and stocks in a blockchain system flexibly would be the way we get rid of, the kinds of risks we saw in 2008. By the way, do you see how much money this actually is? Delivery mechanisms of all sorts of commodities, derivatives, and stocks. This is well over like $500 trillion plus. Like, derivatives by themselves is like a $1 quadrillion plus market. This is huge. But they're also talking about like a systemic failure that affected, financial systems across multiple countries that, occurred during the 2008 crisis, was triggered by a lack of confidence in within the delivery versus payment mechanisms that were available at the point in time. And yeah, like, CBDCs could alleviate this. In fact, the funny thing is that Quant actually just recently, mentioned this as well. Like, could CBDCs have helped prevent the 2008 financial crisis? Gilbert Verdian believes so, as he explained to Gillian Tett and fellow panelists at the Bank of Canada, as well as Visa, and even Financial Times Live. If you guys want to go check this out, it's like a 56-second long video. I included this in a few of my quant videos in the past. You guys are more than welcome to go check those out. But for those that have watched this video in the past on my videos, just to kind of sum it up, basically it's kind of giving you a transparent look at like the systemic risk and failures happening so that you could alleviate the risk on all other central banks themselves. So CBDCs definitely could help alleviate the 2008 financial crisis. And the funny thing is that we're basically seeing a repeat of that happening right now systemically within our financial system, as it is weakening day in and day out with not only massive high inflation numbers, but we're also seeing like mass printing. We're also seeing, systemic failures happening around the world. Over in China, we just seen, banks, running out of liquidity. They are drying up. So yeah, we're seeing major issues happening, and the system is weakening day in and day out. And we also do see over here from the from Augustin Kirsten from the BIS, we're seeing, breaking cash will be gone in a couple years, replaced by CBDCs, giving central banks a surveillance tool for total control. Bitcoin is hope because it can't be controlled by those clowns. And, of course, we always see Bitcoin being brought up. It's funny that it is, but nonetheless, let's listen closely to this.
Our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
And also, this is like a major problem. So like there's only like a second left here. But this is like a major issue. This is like the new world order, if you will, in quotation marks, that is incoming. And I actually said this in the past as well. Like CBDCs, systemically they do help alleviate a lot of the issues within the banking sector, which is also why I've said like a wholesale CBDC I fully welcome. Just to kind of give you guys a quick breakdown, a wholesale CBDC would just be like, a central bank digital currency for the banks themselves, and retail would not be affected at all. It would just kind of help alleviate the systemic risk around banks themselves and central banks as well. With a retail CBDC, okay, not only do we get wholesale CBDCs ushered in, but we also do see retail CBDCs ushered in where they can have full transparency, full control, and ultimately you lose any sort of monetary freedom that you have. This is why I've said that we do need a CBDC and cash system. We need to have retail individuals utilizing cash on a day-to-day basis. Yes, for the most part, a lot of us utilize credit and debit cards, but there's still a large percentage of individuals that just feel more comfortable utilizing cash money, which I also do feel comfortable using, cash money myself. But I do believe that CBDCs do offer great efficiencies. I think that right now, as we are really kind of watching this market unfold, and we're seeing, digitization taking, a key, pivotal spotlight, we will see CBDCs ushered in. We're not going to stop that. We're not going to be able to stop that either. I think that the efficiencies around it are too great to ignore from the central bank side of things. And they're going to try to push a retail CBDC. They're going to try to push retail individuals out of the cash system and usher us into this digital system. But I don't support it at all. This is the new world order, if you will. Which, let me know what you guys think about that down in the, comments below. Let me know what you guys fully support around that. But I would say, like, in terms of cash, I still would love to have fiat, all while still having like CBDCs within the core banking system around central banks. And also, over here, we do see here the issue of creating an international reserve currency based on a basket of currencies of our countries is being worked out. This is from Vladimir Putin. He said at the BRICS Business Forum last month. And of course, as Russia has been, cut off of the SWIFT system, it is also pairing with China and the BRICS nation to, develop reliable alternative mechanisms for international payments in order to cut reliance on the Western financial system. I want you guys to understand right now. Now, I know that we've talked in the past about Ripple not, playing a key role here in terms of, offering, I would say, financial services to Russia, as it has been like, frowned upon. But I want you guys to understand that the BRICS nations, or I should say the BRIC nations, are going to be looking at a payment network that could basically be utilized similar to SWIFT, that could deliver the same efficiencies, if not much, much more efficiencies to the payment sector. And what do you think that that is going to be? To me, it will most likely be RippleNet. And even if it's not, because I know that there's going to be a ton of comments down in the comments section right now saying, the U.S. would never allow that, Ripple will never do that. Okay, they don't need to utilize RippleNet, but they could still utilize the XRP ledger. Nothing is stopping them from doing so. Remember, these are decentralized, ledger technologies that they could utilize on a day-to-day basis if they wanted to, which I do believe is going to, happen. And a lot of people have been saying like XRP, right? They could still utilize XRP as the base method here. They don't need to utilize RippleNet. They could still see the efficiencies around XRP as a bridge currency to settle those international payments. I could actually see this being a realistic thought. Obviously, is this speculation? Sure, it is. But we have been seeing Ripple making major strides around a CBDC-driven, system. But also, we've been seeing XRP being adopted around the globe as a major settlement mechanism. So I do see this unfolding at a rapid pace, but also I do believe that a new reserve currency will be set in stone, and the U.S. is going to fall behind. I also do believe that this could possibly spark the, ushering in of regulations around crypto just for the U.S. to adopt in a payment mechanism like XRP to get ahead of course, the BRIC nations. Because again, the U.S. is not going to let go of their reserve currency power all that easily. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys have more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As those up to you all, have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.